I'm in Des Moines Wednesday, Thursday, back Friday, so I'll schedule something early next week. Good?
All right, we're gonna flip-flop the meetings. The committee holds pretty quick, and we need to do one of the items on there first. So we're going to start with the committee of the whole meeting, but I would ask if everybody would please stand and do the pledge to start. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can we begin with roll call, please?
Councilmember Shemmers.
Here.
Witt.
Here.
Seeley.
Here.
Davis.
Here.
Obrin.
Here.
Mussman.
Here.
Kearns.
Here.
All right, our first item will be Andy Sokolovich and Lesley Webster here from CRDC and CVB. the floor is yours.
All right, Your Honor, Counsel, thank you so much for inviting us. My name is Andy Sokolovich. I serve as the Vice President, the Interim President and CEO of the Clinton Regional Development Corporation. And I have with me today Lesley Webster, who's the Director of Tourism for the Clinton Convention and Visitors Bureau. So we're talking to you about something that I'm very passionate about. I know many of you are passionate about, Grow Clinton. So what is Grow Clinton? What we're looking to do, the ear pull is to move the next slide. We have 3 organizations that have a tremendous amount of knowledge of the business entity that is Clinton and the surrounding communities. Clinton Regional Development Corporation, established in 1953. The Clinton Area Chamber of Commerce, which is celebrating 150 years in business this year. And Clinton, Iowa's Convention and Visitors Bureau. For years, we've been working apart, under the same roof, but still separated by a hallway. What we're looking to do through Grow Clinton is merge those organizations into one. That's why we're doing this, is to avoid redundancies. Next slide, please. So while maintaining established efforts in what we've been doing, the CRDC, for those that are familiar, the Clinton Regional Development Corporation, has been focused since 1953 on smokestacks, industry. The Clinton Area Chamber of Commerce has been focused on small business development, and tourism has been focused on tourism. But today, especially following the COVID crisis, we need to start collaborating together to ensure that we are in unison and lockstep. Economic development has never been harder, and I can say that from experience. Not a ton of experience, but in my 6 years of doing this, the first year, we had a tremendous amount of inquiries regarding our areas, basically the Lincoln Way Industrial Rail and Air Park, the Lions Business Technology Park. But comes a pandemic, and all of a sudden now we have to kind of shift focus, do more with less. How many of you love that term, doing more with less? I don't love it, but that's our reality. So what we decided to do is merge our organizations so that we are working in unison with each other. A merged organization will provide a coordinated, flexible approach to meeting changing priorities. One of those priorities, next slide please, is entrepreneurial development. For years, the Chamber's focused on those businesses that were already established. But what about those young entrepreneurs who are out there, step out of the shower one day, have a dream idea for a business? Where do they go? How many of you council members or entrepreneurs have started a business? Just raise your hand, Mr. Seeley. Okay. You started a business. We want to be the one-stop shop at Grow Clinton. For when you want to start a business, you come to us for everything from identifying customers and new markets to identifying opportunities for financial investment, both from our local banks and from our partners that we've established across the state. So that's one of our big focuses. Workforce development. Attraction efforts. We're still going to work to attract new people to our communities. We do that through Home Base Iowa, the Clinton County Community Student Loan Assistance Program. Retention and expansion. Some of our greatest efforts of growing businesses and growing our economic footprint here in Clinton is going to be through the retention of our existing industries. And organizing and promoting events that will bring visitors to the area and support small business and the retailers. The development and the advocacy for legislative and regulatory policy moving forward will happen within Grow Clinton. Tomorrow, I am driving to Des Moines to have conversations with our legislators. Mr. Shimmers is going with me. We're going to sit down there and tell them what we want. I'm not from Clinton originally. I grew up in the East Coast, a less humble portion of the United States of America, right? It's time that we go to our legislators, pound our fists, and tell them exactly what we want and when we want it, and expect results. That's one of the things we're doing through the Grow Clinton brand moving forward. Next slide. So when is this all going to happen? How many of you have dealt with attorneys? On his phone right there, right? You're getting charged by the minute. Okay? So in dealing with attorneys...
Things never stop.
No, hey, you do what you do. So in dealing with attorneys, we realized that in order to combine 3 organizations with 3 separate boards, we got to make sure we do our due diligence and slow walk this process. So the committee has drafted a business and strategic plan that will guide us through the new merged organization. The committee has drafted bylaws that will govern the new organization, and the committee has started a process of identifying a president and CEO. So we will have one individual overseeing the operations of Grow Clinton that will include economic development, tourism, and chamber work. We hope to announce that president and CEO come April 1st. We just kind of had a wrench thrown in our system today, actually. So we have to modify that by probably a couple of weeks. But we're moving forward. Next slide, sir. Your support. The City of Clinton is a chamber member. The City of Clinton is the second highest investor in the Clinton Regional Development Corporation. We want you to continue your support in our organization. Why? Because we're going to be stronger. We're going to be more robust. We're going to be offering more to our community than we ever have before. We have conversations in this chamber quarters every other Thursday where we talk about what we can do as Grow Clinton to support the growth of the entire city, whether that's housing, retail development, economic development, continued focus on industrial, tourism. There's so many things that we can dip our toes in. What I love about this new combined approach by bringing all these organizations together is that we're going to have the ability, the flexibility to dip our toes in all of that water. Before, we were just kind of laser focused on one thing. Now we're going to be able to combine our efforts and focus on many different things. Next slide, please. I love this quote from Henry Ford. Coming together is a beginning. It's easy to come together, right? Keeping together is progress, all right? Working together is success. And that's what we're working towards, is success. So instead of us all being under one roof separated by a hallway, we're going to combine our efforts, come together as one organization, but we cannot do it without the support of our municipalities and our counties and those individuals who are sitting behind that table. Because many of you have heard me speak in the past, some of you have not. But you can tell that I'm very passionate about this. And if you question my passion, schedule a one-on-one meeting with me and I'll sit down with you and we'll talk about it, okay?
Kool-Aid included.
Kool-Aid included. No attorneys. Grow Clinton is something we've been working towards for decades. This is not a new thing. This is not in the last 12 to 15 months. I mean, sure, we've just started putting pens to paper and starting working towards a strategic plan, but this is something that should have happened a long time ago. The weird part about our community is we're too small to be big, and we're too big to be small. We fit within this weird dynamic. When I go and I research USDA grants to help businesses grow, I see this 20,000 or less, or 50,000 or more. Then we sit in this weird gray area where we don't seem to qualify for things. But we're going to change that dynamic, and we are going to grow as a community. And that's something I'm extremely passionate about. And what keeps me up at night, really, sometimes, is the labor pool. Access to high-quality jobs, and those individuals that can fill those positions. We need to start attracting new people. So it's time we put ourselves on the map. Not being humble, but being aggressive. Huh? All right, there we go. Two of you.
Okay, thank you very much, Andy. I'll open it up. Does anybody have any questions about the merger?
Just two things that we have to work through is that, we have the agreement with the Convention and Visitors Bureau through our hotel multiple tax process. We have to work through, making sure that we update that into the new structure when that new structure is firmly in place, and the same thing that we have with our annual giving that we do for the CDRC. So we want to make sure that we just put in chamber, right? And we want to put that on the radar just so that we don't get that lost and, over the course of the next, 6 months or so.
I think the CVB thing will be easy because the chamber itself is the parent organization that's going to stay.
Correct. Some more context is the Chamber is a 501c6. The Clinton Regional Development Corporation is a 501c4. We want to retain the 501c6. So what we are going to do, the Chamber of Commerce, as a 501c6, is just going to experience a name change to Grow Clinton or Greater Clinton Partners for Growth, and they are going to absorb the assets and liabilities of the Clinton Regional Development Corporation, which liabilities, 0, assets, a ton. I mean, currently the CRDC, we do not owe anybody any money. So we are standing tall in our books. So moving forward, it's going to be a great partnership. And the adjustment to the CVB contract through hotel motel tax, that's already taking place. And that's something that needs to be discussed and will take place shortly.
But our attorneys do already have that information, and our whole team that's been working on it have been working with that through the bylaws.
Good deal.
What else? Fire 'em at me here. This is a big deal.
Was there
If you're not excited about
More
this,
questions?
It is a big deal. It's going to make things really awesome.
Okay.
Well, from our point of view, as a city, it's now a single partnership going forward. When, somebody gets a phone call, it's a single phone call that we're making instead of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And that is going to, what am I trying to get to? It's going to
Simplify the
reduce
process.
and simplify that process in timing. So we're going to be able to get answers to questions that are asked as people are coming into our community to say, hey, I'm thinking about this. Well, we know exactly where to go to get that answer now.
I'm thinking of starting a business. I want to start a brewery in downtown Clinton. Anybody want to do that? Here we go. Got Eggers on for 10 grand. All right. I want to do that. Where do I go? You go to Grow Clinton.
One-stop shop.
Yeah.
I also think it streamlines things too, because right now you have 3 boards with a lot of members, which is great. But this way, when that entrepreneur comes in, gets streamlined through the process. I kind of see like basically the pegboard with the ball that comes in, and you drop in, and then it gets directed where you have to go. Nope, you need to go over here to see these folks. They'll work on getting you some grants, some other loans. But then also the decision-making process will be sped forward. So when we work on these development agreements that are big and long and take a lot of time, we don't have to. We're going to be able to cut time down substantially to be able to get those through, have everybody on the same sheet, and frankly, it'll add a little bit of confidentiality that we might not have today because we're so big, and we love everybody and we like talking. So now it'll be less constrained or more constrained. So we'll basically be able to move faster on some confidential things too.
Yeah, and this will be a long-term benefit to the city as well,
Yep.
especially when you just mentioned those development pieces and
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah, economic development is often, no offense to you guys, but economic development is often best kept through a third-party entity that goes through the process of identifying what the company wants, what they need to come here, and then when we develop a development agreement, then we come to you and I stand behind this lectern and have this conversation. It doesn't necessarily need to go through the office of Matt Brooke. So that's one of the things we're trying to change.
Yeah, we started those conversations already. So if anybody up here has ideas on things that the chamber could help us up on, or Grow Clinton can help us on, let us know. Because Matt and I have had a couple of those conversations with Andy about going forward. What can they do to better assist the whole process in general?
And what we did was the mayor and I threw everything on the table until they tell us otherwise, until you guys tell us otherwise, just to take a look at every single faction that we work in any time, whether it's land sale, whether it's bringing in the company, whether it's working with the attorneys to get the development agreement. All that will be out there, and then we can kind of fine-tune that as we go and start setting up some new standard operating procedures.
I did cross out wash Matt Brooks' truck. I crossed that out of the list. Sorry about that. That's no longer on the table.
Change it to the council members and you got a
Council
deal.
members, vehicles, sure.
You got really good at the tires, I'll admit.
Sounds like a
Yeah,
great
I know who
idea.
holds the real power around here. All right, so those are the things that we're planning on. This is a labor of love. It has taken a long time to get to this position where we're at now, but I feel come April, early May,
Bless you.
God bless you, we will have a established Grow Clinton entity. Why our name is Grow Clinton, but we still service, you can see on the logo, Comanche, Clinton, and Fulton. If Clinton grows, we all grow. If Comanche grows, we all grow. If Fulton grows, we all grow. It's that simple. So it continues to be a regional focus. So don't let the name fool you. But we wanted something quick, we wanted something catchy, and Grow Clinton sounded great, so we took it and ran with it.
And I think you might be looking for a motion from the council to move this to the regular business meeting.
I am, yeah.
For a
According to
for a
our
letter of
attorneys,
support.
For a letter of
We
support.
require a letter of support from the city of Clinton to support the merger specifically of those three organizations. So that's what you'll be voting on today.
I'll make a motion to do that.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion on this?
This is going to be magical because it's going to appear on this paper here.
Can we have
not
roll
on
call,
there?
please?
No, it is.
Councilmember Shemmers. Yes. Witt.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Perfect.
Very good.
Thank you very
sir.
much.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Matt, you're up.
Yeah, we'll speed up because I know we got some folks in the audience for the first thing on the council agenda, so I will not take too long. So I just have two properties to do disposition of. Both are city-owned now. The first one is 716 13th Avenue South, and the second one is 617 6th Avenue South. The first one, we acquired this via tax certificate agreement. It's bare ground, and it's a parcel that's got a buildable lot, 55-foot frontage. We did have an adjacent neighbor. They contacted us and offered us $2,500. They intend to add the lot to her existing property at 720 13th Avenue South, which is a non-conforming lot currently. Basically, she's been maintaining this for several years, snow removal and grass. So this is great to help her out and expand it. So, and I'll do these both together if that's all right with you guys. And then, so 617 was also. In 2020 was basically a 657, which remember it has to be nuisance and vacant for 6 months to start that. And basically Lynch Dallas, good folks, worked on this for us and saw that it was previously placed out to bid. We had some improvements being done, but they were defaulted on the agreement, so making no improvements on the property. So on March, we basically then received that title back for 617. And then on March 1st, we had a Shane Ralston contact us and made an offer of $800 to purchase that 617 6th Avenue South. Tends to put $40,000 into the property and make it a single-family rental for that. And so I'd ask you to, on both these, would bring back to the tax rolls, of course, the empty lot would be making a conform lot, and then as well as having a house that would be a single-family rental. But ask the council forward these resolutions to the next council agenda to set public hearing for the sale of both 716 13th Avenue South and the sale of 617 6th Avenue South.
I'll make a motion to move it forward.
A second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Shemmers. Yes. Witt.
Yes.
Seeley.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Oberon.
Yes.
Mussman.
Yes.
Kearns.
Yes.
Okay, I suppose we can do updates now. Do we have any updates from council? I'll start on my left, Councilmember Kearns,
I have nothing.
No.
Councilmember Mussman,
I have
Oberon,
nothing.
Nothing?
Davis,
Nothing.
Seeley.
No.
All right, nothing. Okay, we will adjourn. Give us a second here to set up the business meeting, and then we will get right into it.